Very good afternoon once again, post-lunch session. This particular session is on e-waste management. And we know that the history of auto sector is not new for India, not for world. We have batteries we have been using batteries in auto sector, and EV is a part of that. Now that we have recycling, we should have a very strong recycling facility in a particular auto sector, and as far as battery is concerned. So I would like to know from all you panelists, the core is that do we have that kind of sufficient battery recycling facilities and e-waste management, whatever the e-waste in EV is? And then what can we do to have that kind of robust facility? How government is facilitating all these things? How industry by itself can do? And what are the challenges? So let's start right from Piyush, sorry. Let me start from you. So first of all, for our audience, please tell me what your organization does and how do you look at e-waste management challenges in India?
I'm Piyush Gupta. I work for Lithon Power. We are based out of Delhi, and we are the largest manufacturer of battery management system in India. We manufacture a core component which is used for lithium-ion battery controls. We don't manufacture batteries. Now, we are an R&D-driven company. We manufacture our own products, develop our own products, fairly high-quality products. Yeah. The question is around how are we associated with e-waste management for batteries?
Right. And how do you look at market? Your first comments.
Yeah. So again, when we have batteries, the waste management for battery consists of two parts. First is when a battery has been laid waste, there is a very high probability it can be put to a second life use by changing some control parameters for the battery. That's a preferable use for of a battery which has, let's say, come out as a waste from an electric vehicle. So either you can reuse it or you can condemn it and then do a chemical processing so that you can extract chemicals out of it. So these are two different ways in which you can make use of a battery waste. So we specialize in the first part where we help our customers take out the cells which are useful and put it to a second life. It's a very, very large segment, growing segment as the availability of the batteries in India is increasing. And we see this becoming a very, very, a fairly large business segment in itself.
So you're at least many are looking. So I would like to know from you, Shubham, can you please enlighten us about this metastable materials, what it does, and what's your initial comment on what kind of market is this, and where do you see the future is going on?
So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the post-lunch session. I hope all of you are excited. So, I am founder of Metastable Materials. We are engaged in EV battery recycling. We were founded a couple of years back and about to put up a facility almost 100 megawatt hour to recycle lithium-ion batteries. Now, this segment is fairly large, but it's very fast growing also. These cells are not manufactured in India so far. There are few companies that are coming up. So most of the materials and the background of those cells are coming from globally. And hence, the technologies that are being developed in India are globally deployable. So segmenting just the Indian ecosystem out of the global ecosystem doesn't largely matters. The cell supply chains are global by nature, and hence the technologies, the companies that are being created, the startups that are being grown will be global by nature. Yes, they will have the supply chains will be local, but the organizations and the technologies will be global. And hence the ambitions of the startups or entrepreneurs of today has to be global in this ecosystem. Now, coming back to what we exactly do, what we have developed is something called a chemical-free lithium-ion battery recycling. It is coming from the idea of waste as O's that we have also pasted on our logo and our chests. Your It's the idea that assume that you dug these batteries out of the ground. If you would have dug them out of the ground, how would you have extracted these metals out of it? Utilizing the ideas of and the principles of the mining industry to extract these metals out of it and put them back into their native supply chains. So that essentially means that we are treating lithium ion battery like any other ore of lithium, cobalt, nickel, and subsequent metals. And we have invented the technology that is relevant to do it, the industrial engineering relevant to do it, and about to commercialize it.
Well, thank you. Mr. Gupta, Rajesh Gupta, I know what Recycle Karo does, but for the interest of our audience, can you please tell us what Recycle Karo does exactly does, and how do you look at the market size and opportunities for e-waste management? Your initial comments, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present ourselves. I'm Rajesh Gupta. I'm the founder of Recycle Karo. So this company was founded in the year 2010. So this is the 14th year we are successfully running this company. So this company was started as an electronic waste management company. Today, our capacity is 7,500 metric tons. So we do end-to-end recycling, where from electronic waste, we extract precious metals as well as base metals. As far as capacity is concerned, we have achieved more than 90% of the utilization is already done in the last year, and we are also in the process of expanding our current operations. Lithium-ion batteries recycling journey began 4 years back. Today we are operating a commercial plant in India with a capacity of 4,200 metric tons of lithium-ion batteries per annum, out of which again 90% is already utilized. In our factory, we extract battery grade of cobalt, lithium, manganese, nickel, and also we do refurbishing of cells and make refurbished batteries out of the discarded cells. So this is about me and my company. As far as these metals are concerned, so this is a good time for India because we are now marching towards an era where we expect to go net zero soon. So you can imagine the amount of these rare earth metals, cobalt, lithium, manganese are required. And unfortunately, we don't have these reserves in India. So we need to depend on other countries. So to become self-reliant, I think recycling is the key. So recycling industries are going to play a very critical role in order to make India self-reliant in terms of these metals. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Shubham, you said, and also Mr. Gupta said that the batteries and some other key components are coming from other countries. You use it here, and then you have to recycle it here. And you don't have that kind of technical know-how and some other issues, right? Yeah. So that's a challenge in recycling?
Recycling capacity is being built in India, but you have to look at the other end of the recycling. Once you have extracted these metals, now what? They have been put into use cases. Now, our idea is that once you have extracted lithium do have other use cases other than batteries, primarily
Right.
being batteries. But even if they go back to batteries, until unless we bring the cell manufacturing capability and the backward supply chain of it, it is very hard to keep the metals in India. And it's a little bit time consuming process. So India in the phase of building that capability also in-house. There are companies like Ola who are doing fantastic at it. They are building their own CAM manufacturing facility. CAM is a material that is used to make cells. So you make batteries using cells and you make cells using something else which is called CAM.
Okay.
That's where the lithium is used. So let's say even we build the recycling capability. Now what? For metals like cobalt, nickel, we do have other use cases, but for metals like cobalt and lithium, there's a lot more to the supply chain than just recycling. So, and hence, yes, these metals will be kept in India, but it will take some time for the whole industry to come up. It's not the job of the recycler alone.
So you mean to say that it should be collaborative effort of entire industry, and only then you can have a segment and that can be used by the industry. So that's more important. Then I don't want to get into the technicalities of it. I'm not a technical guy, but I want to know, Mr. Piyush. I want to actually know that at what percentage actually we are using the recycling and what's not being used by now, till now. Can you please give a figure on how much we are doing and what kind of capacity we need?
It's a good question. I don't actually have the answers, but I can hazard a guess. For EV batteries, I think 95% are recycled for second use.
95%.
At least.
So it's, 35.
95.
95.
Yeah.
So it's a good percentage, right?
Yeah. So again, these are things which are put to second life, not recycled. I think you need to make a differentiation between second life
Exactly.
and chemical processing of the batteries. But if you're talking about mobile phone batteries and laptop batteries and other batteries, I think that's 100% being recycled, not reused.
Okay. So again, Mr. Gupta, in such a scenario that you're doing recycle karo, so you are doing recycling by first use, second use, third use, and after that. Okay. So what kind of do you think technical expertise is lacking in the entire ecosystem? That's why we are not being able to use it, as Piyush said, that there's difference between recycling and reusing, right? So do we lack technical expertise or do we have?
Yeah. So when it comes to recycling, let's say if it is electronic waste or lithium-ion batteries,
Right.
so there are two types of waste. One is when you recycle, you earn out of it. For example, I can buy that waste. And the other waste is to recycle that waste, I need to spend money, okay, which is not profitable. So because of this, the recycling rate is not up to the mark in India. Because there are, so for example, unorganized recycler or let's say a recycler. So everyone is running a business, so they need to be profitable, right? So they will only concentrate on material which can be recycled, and they will just discard, or they will not care of the material which cannot be recycled. So this is the reason why government of India has brought a very brilliant system which is called EPR, which is Extended Producer's Responsibility. And through this system, now the recycler is incentivized. For example, suppose let's say if Apple imports a certain amount of a certain number of electronic products in India, so it's their responsibility to recycle certain percentage of material. So now, in terms of batteries, it has come in the year 2022. So this is just the second year, and the portal. So they have created a portal as well. So which is now live. So I think now the recycling rate will improve, which was very less in the past, which was very less. But because of these new initiatives and because of our government promoting recycled material, also as per the batteries management rule, there is a term that certain amount of recycled material has to go into manufacturing of new products. So I think overall, if we see, so I think this is going to this is a step towards a circular economy, I think.
Okay, great. This is circular economy, and it needs to be a circular economy, and otherwise there's no use of cycling and recycling. I remember if you started your journey in 2010, right? And that was the same year when government came with the hazardous waste management rules. The central government brought it. So it's 15 years. What kind of changes do you see that that rule has made in the system? Do you think that it has left any impact on that?
So electronic waste came into effect in the year 2008.
Right.
So electronic waste management rules was introduced in the year 2008, and then multiple times it got upgraded.
Right.
So 2008, then 2016, then 2020, 2022, and again this year also they have amended the rule.
Exactly.
So for country like us, it is very important that we learn, because the infrastructure that we have in our country, so maybe it was not up to the mark, and it has also evolved to a next level. Today, if you see, the recycling companies are doing a next level of technology and next level of recovery as per the international standards. So today, some companies like us are even competing the technology that we have. So it is at par with Korean and Japanese technology. So the point here is, it is the time for India, where we have the right technology, where we have the right policies, and the overall scenario is good for the industry. So the point is, we are expecting that the recycling rate, which is very poor as of now, it is supposed to improve in this coming time.
Great. Shubham, I would like to know from you that this particular recycling segment, I believe it needs huge kind of investment and technical know-how. So I would like to know from you and Piyush on investment part, what kind of investment does it require, this particular segment? And what's the requirement of technical know-how? You collaborate with the organizations or IITs, IIMs and all to have that kind of particular technical know-how. So on that part, you and Piyush both.
So, a recycler is in the end building factories, which by definition is a very capex heavy industry. So, and given the hazardous waste management nature of it, the pollution control equipment that are required, and the underlying technologies of those things are fairly complicated and hence being expensive. So it's not a trader's business. It's a very capex heavy and hence investment heavy business. But these are the businesses and the evaluation of these businesses that India as a nation, because we have such a strong chemical industry and specialty chemicals industry, we have learned it. So we don't have to build something from the scratch. In the end, even if a recycler is running refineries, so we know how to evaluate it, how to fund them, how to put money in it. Startup ecosystem is learning, but the industry ecosystem understand these things. Now coming to the technical know-how, we have to go back to the refining industry and the specialty chemicals industry. It's all chemistry. It's a very technically competitive industry because, how do I put it? The atoms do not care about political boundaries. The reaction,
Exactly.
The reactions that happens in Europe and Japan, Korea, in OECD countries happens in India. And the purity level that we need to achieve is the same that they are achieving over there. So we need to be on the global standard as soon as possible. And for that, the laboratory ecosystem, the academia of the academic ecosystem, the quality standards, the transportation and the and handling of standards of this are coming along with the recycler and the refiners, and we are heavily utilizing the existing technologies and the know-how built by the specialty chemicals industry to leverage it. We are not building it from scratch.
So, Mr. Piyush, on your take on that this is not a Sunday to Sunday kabadi wala business, not a scrap dealer business. It's a kind of specific specialty business. So, what kind of investment you think it's going to take, and technical know-how? Then, what kind of technical know-how we require? Do we have sufficient that, or we need more?
I think actually it is a kabadi ka business.
It's actually that?
It is actually that. Yeah. So there are two parts of the business. One, a battery scrap gets generated. It is picked up by a kabadi. Yeah. Or it could be an institutional kabadi, or it could be a small scale kabadi. Yeah. They sort out the cells into something which can be reused, some things which cannot be reused. Once stuff which can be reused are put to second life. Stuff which cannot be reused are crushed and put into chemical processing. It's a very normal segregation. It's collection, segregation, and reprocessing business. So it's actually it's very similar to what you do with newspaper recycling. Again, technically complexities could be there because you're refining cobalt, you're refining nickel, you're extracting lithium, right? But again, India is probably a market leader, worldwide market leader in specialty chemicals. So it's a very new industry for refining these chemicals from this waste. So the industry is probably going to take 3, 5, 10, 15 years to mature, right? But that's just the nature of the game. It's not going to happen on day one. It's not going to happen on day two. But it's definitely going to happen because this is an area where India is an established world leader. So this is around the chemical processing part of it. On the reuse part of it, we already are a world leader, right? So again, I don't think there is any other country in the world which has so much of reuse of cells as much we have in India, right? So the technology already exists. Probably we are a world leader in that part of the technology.
So why do you think, what are the challenges that we are not doing in that scale?
कोई challenge नहीं है sir इसमें. It's just matter of time. These things will scale up as time, because there is no raw material available. If the raw material is not available, what are you going to do? The batteries are going to come after 5, 6 years of use, right? So enough feedstock is not there in the country right now. When we did start selling electric vehicles, we started selling electric vehicles 3 years, 4, 5 years ago. As the feedstock comes in, this will become a fairly large industry by itself. So there are no challenges per se. There is nothing which is holding back the industry. It is just a matter of time. These things just take time for it to mature. And probably in both the sectors, Second Life as well as the chemical reprocessing, India probably will be a worldwide market leader.
So do you see startups coming into this segment and they are taking the lead in the business?
I think it's just a natural progression, right? So wherever you have new technologies being developed, large companies generally are not able to develop technologies. Yeah, that's how industrial innovation goes. They are very good in processes. They are very good in scaling up. But in new technology development, it is generally an innovator who does that. And generally, an innovator finds it difficult to work within a large company setup. So by definition, innovation is done in small setups. And that's the reason you generally call it a startup. Yeah. So, like Shubham's company is doing some fantastic work in this. We have other companies which are doing excellent work in extracting chemicals from battery waste. We probably, we don't have to be apologetic about it. We probably are a world leader in this.
Yes, exactly. We don't need to be apologetic about this. But somehow I think that, there are companies, unless big companies are investing big on this, we will not be able to push others to get into that. Otherwise, they don't see that there's a big market into that. Am I right or am I wrong thinking like that?
I think you probably have only a half picture, so I wouldn't say right or wrong. One of the companies which is extremely big in this space is a company called Lithon. It is a global leader in its right. It is not second to anyone else in the world.
Okay. So back to Mr. Gupta, I would like to know from you that what are the 2-3 key things that you see as a challenge in e-waste management sector? 2-3 key challenges.
So there are many challenges, but I will just take 3 important challenges in this. So number 1 challenge is the logistics. Okay. So we all know that the amount of electronic waste which we as a country generate. So it is important that the logistics has to be feasible where you are able to collect, because it is important that it has to come to the recycler. So I think getting that is a challenging, and EPR, I think it will solve the purpose. Number 2, the efficiency. The recycling efficiency has to be above 95%. Otherwise, you cannot survive in this market. Because this market, especially the lithium-ion batteries market, so you all will be very shocked to know that countries like Japan and China, there are some people, they crush these batteries, take out black mass and export it. So China or Japan or Korea is the major buyer for this black mass. What happens is they refine it and then they sell it again to us as a cell.
Yes.
So which is not right, correct? So the recycling companies has to be more efficient. When I talk about efficiency, is that we need to be more than 95% efficient in recovering that material. When I say efficiency means, if I recycle, say if I recycle a material which has, say, 100 kgs of cobalt in it, so I should ensure that I recover 95%, 95 kgs. Otherwise I will not compete with the international players. So they will continue buying our black mass. And the third important thing is the purity. So if you run a recycling industry, so you need to be very precise, or you need to be sure about the quality that the products that you manufacture has to be more than 99% pure. As we when we started, we were like very difficult to reach that purity, but today I'm very proud to say that Recycle Karo manufactures products which are more than 99.5% pure. So these are the, I think these are the three important parameters
Yeah.
for our industry.
Shubham, I would like to know from you that do you think that localization of such facilities would do something in favor of the industry? We need to have just like one district, one product kind of thing, one district, one recycling, or two recycling centers, and that's specialized recycling. So we need to have that kind of facility. Do we require that?
No,
Not exactly.
economy of scale. So, by what I mean economy of scale, these are your refining facilities.
Yeah, I'm talking about refining facilities, right?
Yeah, the refining
So-
facilities have an economy of scale. The bigger it gets, the better it gets.
So what, according to you, are two, three key challenges our industry faces?
I would agree with sir that reverse logistics is one of the critical challenges.
Reverse logistics.
Your material is sitting in your user's hand, and you largely don't know what the user have done with that material. So, and you have to get it from your user's hand to your head. That means that the reverse logistics has to be existent and efficient. That is one part. Refining have a very well understood use cases. The factories take time to stabilize. The purity takes time to come, and there is a technical know-how and understanding of the technology that you have either borrowed or designed takes time. It's a again like has already been said. It's a time-taking process, but it's not a will it happen or not. And it's that's where the proper financing of these things comes into picture. That you have to finance in such a way with a very patient capital that is ready to put enough effort and time over there. Third is talent management inside your organization is extremely critical. Not at your management level, but at your technician level. Because in the end, it's a man on a machine. He needs to understand the 15-20 parameter that goes into it. Not what your chemist has described it, but what are the small parameters of it. It's called recipe in the industry, coming from the cooking background.
Thank you. So Piyush, your initial comment, your comment on that? Two, three key challenges in the sector?
So I think it's just the first thing is people need to be patient. Technology doesn't get developed in one day. It takes years to develop. Yeah. So to say ki there is a challenge, I think that's probably not the right use of the word. Right? These are opportunities. You get access to opportunities, you get those opportunities, and it takes time for you to get those opportunities. So first of all, I think the realization for the entire ecosystem should be there that if you are getting into something new, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It can't happen tomorrow. Yeah, if somebody thinks that the entire industry will be developed in 12 months, 24 months, I think it's very, very difficult, very, very difficult. Yeah, on almost impossible. So the first thing I think is that needs to happen is a change in the mindset. The technology development is fast. It is not. You may have the first version of the technology, but to stabilize it on a commercial scale is minimum 3 to 5 year game. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest fundamental challenge that needs to be addressed. Apart from that, it's just natural process. The feedstock will come. There are companies like Recycle Co. There are companies like Metastable. These companies will evolve over time. Mr. Rajesh has just mentioned that he has gone to 99.5% purity, right? So as the standards tighten in India, I'm sure you'll go to 99.9% purity, right? So it's just a matter of time. You have to be positive about these things.
So, Mr. Gupta, are we using the best available world-class technical expertise in waste management? Do we have something to learn from the rest of the world, or are we already using them?
As I already told that it is evolving. In terms of waste management, I personally, since I am in this industry from last 14 years now. So during the initial days and today, it is totally a different scenario, I should say. So we are marching towards that. For example, today we have different rules for all the waste streams. So we have a plastic management rule, we have electronics management rule, we have batteries management rule. So I think these are the steps towards moving towards the international standards. So I think we are very close. If we talk about US or European standards, we are very close. And we will achieve, we will reach, or even we will be better in coming years.
Great. So, any questions from our learned audience? Yes. Can I have Mike from backstage, please? Yeah.
Can we have 2 more mics from the console? Because all the mics are here on stage. Hostess girls, can we have you, please? Because all the mics are placed here. Can you take this one? Can you take this one?
Excuse me. Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sanjeev, and I'm a consultant into process and quality related subjects. My question is, I was hearing all this, I just want to know the maturity level of the recycling industry, especially now, what is the value addition which is being done by the existing players? You said there are 2 things. One is the second use. Okay, that is very clear. It goes into some electronic gadgets or anything at 80% life, then again it depletes down. The second one you said it is the black mass. Now, what value addition you are doing as a recycling? Are you segregating this material because it has an electrode, anode, diode? You know, these materials, these are different. Lithium is there, cobalt is there, nickel is there. Are you separating it out and as a black mass, this component you are giving it to the chemical factory, or what value addition you are doing on this?
Who do you want to know from?
Anybody can
Anyone,
pick
okay.
it up, whoever wants to. Yeah.
Rajesh, you can take this question.
Thank you for asking this question, sir. So I will talk about Recycle Karo, how we do this at our factory. So there are 2 processes. When batteries come in our factory, so they are segregated. So if it has a good life, it is separated and it goes into second life. And if it is discarded at end of the life, so it is crushed. What we have is, when we do mechanical crushing, we have all the solid part like copper, aluminum foil or steel, and the black mass is, we have a facility in our factory where we do hydrometallurgy. So hydrometallurgy is a recycling process where we use lots of acids. Then once we leach this black mass, and we do certain refining processes. Like one of the refining process that we do is solvent extraction. So there are certain solvents used to take out the metals. So what we produce at Recycle Karo factory is the pure metals. So our end product is not black mass. Our end product is cobalt in the form of sulfate, lithium in the form of carbonate, nickel in the form of sulfate, manganese in the form of sulfate. So these are the end products. And the purity of all our products is more than 99%, 99.5% pure. So this is what we do at Recycle Karo, sir.
Thank you. Now, for buying these different, do you sell it to Indian buyers, or is it exported out of the country? How do you handle this?
So unfortunately, in India, we don't have any cell manufacturers or pre-cam manufacturers as of now. Okay, but there are a couple of players who are supposed to start this. So once we have those players, so 100% of our produce will go into manufacturing of new cells, which is actually it is supposed to be going in cell industry, but some of our product also go into secondary applications. For example, cobalt has lots of use in pigment industry, so some cobalt goes into pigment. Even veterinary products, they use some cobalt. And same with lithium also goes into high value lubricant industry, glass industry. So some product it goes into the locally sold to these industries, and some are even exported to other countries where they make pre-cam or cells out of these products.
My last question on the same subject. This chemical segregation process, how intensive is the capex spending or investment on this?
Yeah, so it is a very capex, as my friend just mentioned. It is very capex it is a high capex. So we have spent millions in establishing these facilities. So this is very but it can be done as Recycle Karo did. So but it is capex. Lots of capex is involved in this industry.
Thank you.
Thank you. So again, do you think capex is it challenge? Is it available or not? You go for venture capitals, banks, where do you get it? Are they willing to invest in this particular sector? That's the point.
So as I've been always saying since start of this session, so the things for recycling industries in India are changing. So now people are taking this industry seriously. So there are many funds available. So there are VCs interested in investing in this. So it's a good industry now. So capex is available in the market.
Thank you. Any last comment, Shubham?
Yeah. I'm coming back to the question. We do need to understand that these metal existed before batteries. We invented cobalt somewhere in 1800s. The biggest use case of nickel is in stainless steel. Lithium also used to exist before. I mean, even I was born, or maybe before you were born. So these metals and their supply chain used to exist before. The battery has supercharged and overburdened some of these supply chains, but it has not invented it. So yes, these metals are being extracted. These metals are being utilized by a plethora of industry, not limited to the battery industry.
I think I'll pass this. Yeah, I'm not an expert in chemical process.
So with that, okay. You have something?
One more question. Good evening.
Please introduce yourself and then your question. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Ganesh. I'm a senior manager at Hyundai Motor Factory. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the panel members for sharing your insights. My question is for people who are ready to invest and who can manage the operations, as both Mr. Shubham and Mr. Rajesh mentioned regarding the challenges involved in the chemical recycling part of it. What would be your piece of guidance, note, or advice for the people who wanted to get into this industry? Am I clear?
Yeah. So if you ask me, this is a good sunshine industry. So, but it is very challenging. You need to stick to it. So it's not like keep walking. It is keep walking. It's not something where you something like a plug and play kind of industry where you start and you immediately expect returns out of it. So you should be patient. Your technology has to evolve with the time. For example, the chemistry is changing like anything. So every now and then we hear of new technologies or new chemistries coming in, or the proportions are different. So you need to be aware of this. The technologies coming in this field, and your technology that you use in your factory has to evolve according to that. I think these are few of the things from my side.
I mean, we work in a chemical-free process. We do not use acids. We do not use solvent extraction. We work in a We have a chemical-free process. We do not extract metals as sulfate. We extract metals as metals. So, just to differentiate over there. Now, from the what you are asking is,
Actually, my specific question was, apart from the investment part and the operations management part, the chemical process involved in extracting the efficient materials, what would be the, like, what is your guidance note or advice for people who want to get into this industry?
are you asking as a in person or from the Honda's perspective?
No, in person.
I mean, we can discuss this after this panel has been done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, my question to another Gupta. Yeah, Mr. Piyush Gupta.
Mr. Raj, you point Mr. Rajesh Gupta?
Yeah, I am Sendil.
Yeah.
I am Sendil from MCF Chennai. Regarding my first point of view, sir, almost lithium-ion batteries, almost 95% may be recycled in the name of unformed as a second life. Correct. I want first question is the second life batteries. How many long years? It is taken. The first battery, original batteries will be taken 5 years to 7 years. What about the second life battery? And rest of remaining 5 years contaminated, rejected item, how to dispose it? Those two questions only.
Question is for me. Yeah. Okay. So,
the question for Gupta sir.
Yeah.
Piyush Gupta.
Okay, so second life of batteries is something that is we cannot answer it like that, but generally it is long. You know, whether it is 5 years, 7 years, 1 year, 2 years, this is something that you determine after depending on what quality cells is.
Second
Second point, the answer is stuff which cannot be put in second life, goes into mechanical crushing and then chemical extraction to the plants run by these two gentlemen.
Yeah, okay. So how do the remaining 5% contaminate? Rejected, how to dispose it?
The remaining 5% goes for,
How dispose you? How dispose?
No, you don't dispose them.
Yeah.
You crush them and you extract metals out of that. This is what these guys do.
So with this,
No, we have learned how to handle contamination. Just send it to us. We'll deal with them.
so with this, I'll have to wrap up the session. Our esteemed panelists are available on the offline. So with this, thank you. Thanks a lot for enlightening our audience with such insights of the e-waste management. Thank you.